radiation. I went down here through this road, and the sky was completely dark when I got here. Complete darkness. And it started raining when it's over here, on the other side of this mountain. And that's where I got exposed to the radiation. I went down here through this road, and the sky was completely dark when I got here. Complete darkness. And it started raining when the radiation fallout was coming down.
These large raindrops came pelted down on us, and we were drenched. We were soaked. We didn't know it at the time, but it was black rain that was radioactive.
All right, Shalom. This is Howard One by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Ha'arikah Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nagwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. Yeah, this is another clip from the Hiroshima experiment, as we should call it. This guy's name is Masaki Takano. All right, he was a Hiroshima resident, meaning he lived in the area of Hiroshima. All right, so he was speaking about the nuclear fallout. It was called Black Rain, the after effects of a nuclear explosion. All right. And the Most High created this whole process. That's the whole focus of this topic, that the Most High created it. Matter of fact, let me get this scripture. This is Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 17. For the almighty hand that made the world of matter without form. See that? So the Most High created this whole world of matter, chemicals, gas, everything that we see and don't see, the elements. All right, and matter. So it says he wanted not means to send among them a multitude of bears or fierce lions. So the Lord could send a multitude of bears and fierce lions just to start destroying and start destroying shit. Multitude of bears and fierce lions. Could it destroy a whole country? Most High can make it that way, but that's not what he chose to do. All right, this should probably be like Jumanji or some shit. Or like the people was getting hunted in Africa, the Hamites. There was a movie called The King. It was something like The Ghost of Africa, which was like two lions that they had. They still got them. They stuffed them and kept them as mannequins. There was a movie I used to watch when I was younger, where these two big ass lions was hunting the whole neighbor community over in Africa. But on a countrywide scale, the Lord chose not to do that. It says, or unknown wild beast full of rage, newly created, breathing out a fiery vapor. Right, that's when you go into what, like Godzilla. The Lord could have used Leviathan to destroy Babylon, but instead, the Lord's going to unleash Leviathan on the earth, but he has missiles set to destroy this place. You're going to have man destroy man, all right, just like he did with Nebuchadnezzar, Cyrus the Great, what's his name, Belshazzar, all right, Cyrus the Great, Alexander, kingdom. The Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and he gives it to whomsoever he will. So now, he could have made newly created animals that we never heard of, which could happen now, which we probably will see soon, which is like Leviathan. We got all the radiation out here. Newly created, breathing out either a fiery vapor or filthy scents of scattered smoke. Sheesh. Like gases, man, poisonous gas. or shooting horrible sparkles out of their eyes. Man, can you imagine that? You're like, yo, man, this supposed to happen soon. That could have been part of prophecy. Sheesh. Whereof not only the harm might dispatch them at once. You know, if that was in America, we had to evacuate. But also the terrible sight would utterly destroy them. Yea, and without these might they have fallen down with one blast, being persecuted of vengeance and scattered abroad through the breath of thy power. So the Lord could have just breathed on the earth. If you ever see the breath of the Lord, you might want to look at a nuclear blast. All right, but thou hast ordered all things in measure, in number, and weight. See, for thou canst show thy great strength at all times when thou wilt. See, the Lord could just destroy this place right now, but He chose to wait. He chose to what? Measure, keep things in order, and measure and number. That shows power and patience as well. So, and who may withstand the power of thy arm? For the whole world before thee is as a little grain of the balance, yea, as a drop of the morning dew that falleth down upon the earth. Speaking of falling down upon the earth, let's get back to this nuclear fallout. All right, this is the term nuclear fallout. This is in the scriptures. And this is a process, a chemical reaction, chain reaction that the Lord created to happen as far as destruction. You know, fire and brimstone, fuel of fire, you know, fuel, gases, chemicals, right? So the Most High created this so where it won't just be a fire like Sodom and Gomorrah, but it was going to be a serious punishment that's going to compile a lot of different attributes to it. First, you're going to have the heat, then you're going to have the fire from it, the blast, the wind, the scattering wind that's going to, first the heat and the blast will burn the body. I might do a lesson on that, Yahweh Ratazah. Will burn the body to ash, and then the winds are going to scatter them. Look at that. This is Psalms 1 and 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. All right, that's not following these false doctrines and false beliefs, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Right, not being a contender against the Lord, like people like Lawatazah, who is Sa'anetta, and people like that. But his delight is in the law of Yahweh. See, our delight is in the Lord's law of righteousness. And in his law doeth he meditate day and night. So we meditate in the laws, we meditate in the scriptures. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in season, out of season. And that's teaching his truth. All right, waiting upon thy ministry, desiring the sincere milk, building up, studying to show yourself approved, that you should be a workman that shall not be ashamed. His leaf also shall not wither, right? You continue in the truth. And whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. All right, so the winds is talking about is those destroying winds that's coming with the nuclear blast. All right, I might do a lesson on that later, but right now I'm focusing on the black rain, the nuclear fallout. All right, in that process. So, but the chaff, so the Lord going to scorch these people in the ash first, standing like that's why the Lord said that. Remember Lot's wife, because she turned back and turned into a pillar of ash, man, salt. So in reflection of that, you have this whole chemical reaction that the Lord created to bring about a reflective judgment just like Sodom and Gomorrah. All right. So let me get that, matter of fact. All right, I think it was the last video I just did. I can't remember, but the woman was saying when they did a nuclear test. All right, the people thought it was ashes or snow coming from the sky, so they went and played in a river and went outside, thought it was snowing in New Mexico, and they found out that the snow was burning their skin like sulfur, and none of them made it past that day, the little girls, during the nuclear test of July, I think it was 16th, 1945. So 2 Peter 2:16, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, he condemned them with an overthrow. See, that's that chaff. They're going to be like ashes upon their feet, and then get blown away from that blast of wind. So this whole process was thought of by the Most High. How do I want to destroy? What do I want them to feel? What do I want them to go through? All right, he wants them to burn and feel the pain, but be alive to feel it. And watch them melt. Like what they say during Hiroshima, they said the people were lighting up on fire like matchsticks, and they were so hot and burning. They were trying to jump into the river, but the river would catch on fire. They said the rivers were catching on fire. So imagine that. We seen an example of that with Hawaii recently when it was on fire. People was jumping into the ocean. But imagine you jump to the ocean and that's on fire too. Or the rivers. And full of dead bodies and shit. So yeah, man, that's why the Lord said that, man. He gotta get our minds ready for what's coming. All right, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemn them with an overthrow. That's what it's about. It's about this overthrow that the Most High chose. And the overthrow that he chose was not through Leviathan to destroy America or a blast of breath from the Lord, but instead he chose to use man against man, like Russia and China against America. The Lord created the smith that blew up the coals in the fire, these scientists. And then the one that, Oppenheimer, that put it into a missile, the form of a missile. And then they created this missile and bomb and threats and deterrence towards each other. And then now the Lord can use these swords, as he calls them. The Lord calls them swords, weapons of mass destruction. The wasters, the missiles, man. To judge these, to judge the earth. So this is making them an example unto those that after should live ungodly, man. And that's what 2/3 of these heathens are doing, living ungodly, especially here in America and around the world too. Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Basically, this is a parable speaking of old age, the body getting old, saying remember the Lord in your youth. But it's also talking about the destruction, the judgment. Remember the Lord before the day of judgment comes, and it's too late, basically, man. When people on their deathbed or in a bad situation, like World War III. All right. So before the evil days come nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Right? By that time, people are gonna say, They would rather die than be here. You know, while the sun or light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, and the keepers of the house shall tremble. So all the leaders, in America, they're going to be trembling. All right. And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because there are few, no jobs, no workers. And those that look out the windows shall be darkened. People that are looking out the windows are going to be in fear. That represents fear, darkened. But it said, before the sun and the moon and stars be not darkened, man. What is that talking about? Before the judgment day. That's right. Let me read here. Because what this guy was talking about, he said he was walking up the street in Hiroshima, and he looked up and the sky was black. He said he mean like dark, completely black, pitch black, smoke everywhere. And then he said, all of a sudden it started raining. See, that's what happens when that mushroom. That's it. The whole thing about a mushroom cloud is very important. It's not just the shape of it. You know what I mean? It's not just the symbolism of it, but it's also about, of course, prophecy. But if you look up the chemical and the chain reaction that happens with that, the fact that it's a mushroom cloud that the Lord chose. With a mushroom cloud comes radiated light, which can kill everybody. A whole city. It's a weapon of mass destruction. Most powerful measure that's ever been on the earth. They call it the hand of God. Besides a tornado and hurricanes. What else? What comes with it is a blast with the winds that the Lord keeps talking about. The fire, and where people catch on fire like matchsticks. Chemical combustion. The blast of wind that blows them away as they turn to ashes. The radiation part of it, which keeps them alive from the fire while they're dying and shit. Like they won't even feel it, it'd be so quick. Some people didn't even feel it when they got knocked off their feet. All right, so and then the lava effect, where America's gonna become a lake of fire and brimstone. So it's just levels to it, The Most High had them build up to this point. Started off with firecrackers, fireworks over in China. Esau stole that technology. Went from fireworks to guns, from guns to cannons, from cannons to tanks and planes and aircraft, atomic missiles, and now they moved on to nuclear, complete nuclear, not just splitting the atom, but slamming atoms together. I might do a lesson on that, Yahweh Ratazah. The difference between fission and fusion, that I was talking about years ago, when the Lord was giving me those visions. A lot of people thought I was crazy. But that's what this is about right now. Fission, fusion. Them are trying to attack the God gene or the body, so on and so on, the pineal gland. Trying to tap into the spirit. But this what comes with a nuclear fallout, black rain. Dark skies, sun not giving its light. Which goes into another stage that I want to go into later. Yahweh Ratazah. Another stage that comes from the mushroom cloud, plume of smoke that shoots up into the sky in the atmosphere. What they call that? Cumulus clouds. All right, is that cumulus clouds? It goes up around those clouds. If it reaches up that high, it creates a storm. And that storm will blot, and the clouds will blot out the sun, creating a winter. That's the hell freeze over. So black rain, man. Radioactive rain and snow. This is Isaiah 13:6. Howl ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand, man. Some scary stuff. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. It's gonna be like it just came from. See, told you, chain reaction. All right. So either the Lord can do it directly himself, to where he just send a meteor out of the sky and you see it, and he said, I'm gonna destroy it here, and he sent some monster or something, or shake up the earth, where you see he said, I'm gonna blast the earth with my breath. But instead, he chose to do it through man and through their missiles. But it's gonna come as a destruction from Yahweh. That's a chain reaction. That means he's at the end of the line of the dominoes, and humanity's at the other end. And he tipped the first domino. It's gonna have a chain reaction all the way to get to its desired effect. His word shall not come back void. So this destruction that's gonna happen by the hands of Russia, China, and these other countries, like Iran, on America, Babylon, is gonna come as a destruction from Yahweh, just like Sodom and Gomorrah did. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. You know, it can be heart attacks, all kind of shit, but that ain't gonna matter in that day. What it means here is also their dreams and their aspirations are gonna fade away. All right, and they shall be afraid, man. Instead, they're gonna be scared finally in that day. These thugs, these killers. You see Jake out here, and these women, these wicked women. She that is my enemy shall see it, you know. Esau, these heathens, they shall all see together. All right, and they shall be afraid. They're not acting scared now, but they're gonna have that fear. That's what the Lord wants. He wants to see their fear, man. Pangs and sorrows. What the hell is a pang? It's like pain, I guess. I'm not gonna get it, but pangs and sorrows. Hell, man. You know, people melting and ripping apart and burning up, catching on fire, chemical. You know, that's right. So, pain shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman in travail, like a woman in pregnancy, screaming out in pain. That's internal, inside to the flesh, inside their skin. You know, like a baby inside the body, pain from within. They shall be amazed one at another, and be looking at each other's face. You know, their faces shall be as flames. They'll be looking at each other, on fire and shit. Like that motherfucking what's that movie, man? With the motorcycle and the dude be riding around with his head on fire. The skeleton. You know, so what's her name? Connor from Terminator, when he showed her in the beginning burning up. Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, man. That's what this represents. The Lord's fierce anger, man. He want to melt these people. The Lord is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, meaning if he don't stop, he will wet his sword with blood. That's what it means. And sword represents the missiles. All right, so with fierce anger to lay the land desolate. That's the Lord's goal. His determination is to gather the nations and bring them down to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, that he may pour upon them his indignation, man. They're talking about their armies over there, gathering for war. And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So it's all about the sinners and the wicked that's going to get destroyed here, not the elect. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. All right, what did the guy say? He didn't see it. It was pitch black. The sky was dark. You know, The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, meaning from morning, noon, afternoon to evening, it's going to be pitch black. And the moon shall not cause her light to shine. So all through the phases of the night, it's going to be pitch black as well. Day of just darkness outside all day. That's some scary shit. All right. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. All right, so it's all throughout the scriptures where it speaks of a nuclear fallout. All right, the scriptures say this war shall be fought with burning and fuel of fire. That's nuclear. You know, fuel, chemicals, and fire together, fire and brimstone. Revelations 8 and 10. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven. That's the missiles, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of water. So that's anything that's around this place, America. Like, say for instance, they drop a nuke. If Russia does finally go nuclear, and they drop something on like Poland or one of them countries over there, all around that vicinity is going to be pitch black, and the rivers are going to be poisoned. All right, so around America and the waters around it are going to be toxic. And the name of the star is called wormwood, meaning bitter or toxicity. Like maybe somebody put blood in water, it would be toxic. All right, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, became toxic. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten. Right, that's from that rain, that black rain going to the waters. People drinking it or jumping into the water, and that radiation on their skin killed them. All right. So the same thing will happen now. Even worse. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten. All right, so that means a portion of the sun, meaning it's going to be sunny on certain parts of the earth, but wherever them nukes got dropped, it's going to be pitch black. And the third part of the moon, so that means day and night, it's going to be pitch black. And the third part of the stars and the third part of them were darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night was likewise, man. So it's talking about times throughout the day. It's going to be pitch black to where you would usually think it'd be light outside, or even on a stormy day, it's still some type of light in the day or in the night. But this going to be pitch black, man. You know? Like the darkness that was over Egypt. These are curses that the Lord brings is going to come as a destruction from the Almighty. All right, let me get one more. All right, Revelation 8 and 13, finish this off. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels, which are yet to sound, man. So woe, 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 World War III. So Revelation 6 is the same as Revelation 8, Revelation 6 and 12. And I beheld, perfect, man, because it's talking about the wormwood. But after the wormwood explodes, it creates a mushroom cloud. All right. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, Revelation 16 and 12, there was a great earthquake. See, it's all this whole process, the shaking of the earth. It's going to come as a destruction from the Almighty. It's going to be a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, man. So imagine you had an afro or sackcloth of just hair, and you put it in front of a light. That's how dark it's going to be. The smoke going to be that thick. unbreathable, unlivable. It would create thick black rain clouds, crazy storms, and poison. And the moon became as blood. See, that shows you right there. What does that mean? The sun becomes black as sackcloth, representing nuclear fallout or smoke. And the moon became as blood. When you see the moon red at night, a lot of time it's from the toxins or pollution that's in the air. All right. But now that shows you how toxic it's gonna be at night. It's gonna be red as blood. So at nighttime, when you look at the moon, you're gonna see nothing but chemicals. Shit, crazy, man. and the stars fell unto the earth, even as it. See, it's gonna be continuous. It's not just gonna be one missile, just boo. No, it's gonna happen, and then people are gonna realize that this is happening. That's why the Lord says the bow of steel shall strike them through. It should come out of his gall. What happens, like somebody would stab a sword into somebody's stomach, and if somebody fighting them and they realize it, they look down and see it come out of their gall, meaning out of their back. The sword go through their stomach and out of their back. They realize they wounded. So that's what these missiles going to do. It's going to be a precision strikes. Sweep this place as a besom of destruction. 200 million missiles, 1 hour. So it's going to be a process. A lot of people are going to see this. They're going to see this sky turning black. People that's still living in the midst of that, they're going to see the sky pitch black, die from the rain. People around the world are going to be seeing the sky turn black and the poison in the waters. These nations that surround America. A lot of people are going to die of the waters and stuff such like that. And the nuclear fallout. And the stars of heaven fell upon the earth. See, it's going to happen. Stars, plural, 200 million. Even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs. So if you look at a fig tree, it's going to be that many damn missiles. That's just joking. When she is shaken of a mighty wind, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. Was that a mushroom cloud? Mushroom cloud from chemicals. Chemicals called a chemical reaction, which is black rain, the sky turning pitch black, and which brings nothing but death. These missiles are made for death and destruction, nothing else. When she is shaken of a mighty wind, the heaven departed as a scroll when it's rolled together. Once you see that, it carries them chemicals way up into the atmosphere, and it comes right back down into the earth as black rain. And it goes into the water and repeats that cycle. And the heaven, all right, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places, man. The tsunamis and that powerful blast gonna move some islands. All right, so let me keep going. Matter of fact, and the kings of the earth, and great men, and rich men, and the chief captains, and mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in dens and in the rocks of the mountains. What's that? They're gonna try to hide in bunkers, in the mountains and in the dens. From what? The blast, the radiation, just like during their test, the nuclear test, with America and then Russia. They had little dens in the rocks nearby so they could watch the test. So they'll watch it till the flash happened. And once the flash happened, they'll close the doors, shut the doors. Not like in the house. They showed the example of that. Somebody could just stay in the house and they was just slaughtered that house. Just, like wind just went by the screen and destroyed that place. So, but they're going to be trying to hide in bunkers and try to make it through a fallout. But instead, these heathens coming out and they going into slavery. All right, so and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? All right, so all these things that are happening is all about the Lord's wrath, fire. All right, man, to here, Matthew 24 and 29, man. All right, speaking about the black rain and the toxicity of the waters, wormwood, and the waters became as blood. All right, meaning toxic. It became as wormwood. Let me see something. Right, man. So Revelation 6 and 1. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth. See, all this is about the wrath of the Most High. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast. Right? The Lord said Esau's ways are always grievous. So people that get that MOTB, they're going to end up with that cancer from it. The one that have the MOTB. And upon them which worshipped this man's system or his image. And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea. All right. So where you're going to have black rain and toxic waters. And it became as the blood of a dead man. So imagine you had not only blood in the water, but a dead body sitting in the water and somebody drinking that water. They done. That's toxic. That's the blood of a dead person. And every living soul died in the sea. And anybody that dealt with those waters, that's going to come from this place. Just like if anybody dealt with the waters from Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they died instantly or that day. All right, so it can be a lot of death on the earth and fallout from this coming destruction. All right. And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and the fountains of water, and it became as blood. Matter of fact, I'm going to get into that one next. All right. Yahweh Ratazah, if I haven't done it already. But, yeah, let me get this. Matthew 24 and 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened. What did he say? He walked outside and the sky was pitch black in the direction of the explosions. The sun shall be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven. That's the missiles. And the powers of heaven shall be shaken, man. All right, and what does that mean? That the earth is going to be shaken real to and fro. Those are the powers of heaven. Not just talking about Esau. It's talking about the powers of heaven, meaning the planets. That explosion going to be big. There's going to be 200 million of them. And there shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Right at that moment, to deliver his elect. All right. So it's gonna be times where we see the chariots. We may see Yahushua showing up in the midst of the missiles, but by the time the missiles blowing up and blasting, the angel's gonna be scooping up the elect from out of this place. And he shall send his angels, here we go, with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. See, even over here in America. Now learn the parable of a fig tree. When its branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh.